The Light Passes AOV widget just had a massive upgrade. We've heard your suggestions and have added a full new automated workflow that renders your passes into a MultiEXR file. If you have already been working with the tool, you can skip to the next part with the new features. If you're a newcomer, the Light Passes AOV widget is a production render tool in Unreal Engine. With this tool, you can separate lights and light components into separate passes for compositing. Inside the tool, you can adjust the same settings as you would in the movie render queue. You can then select the passes and AOV you want to render. The tool will automatically batch render these passes or batch them into the movie render queue. This allows the artist to get pass rendering control similar to an offline render engine, but with the speed and quality of Unreal Engine. To set this up, select the lights and give them actor tags. Matching actor tags mean that the lights will be rendered together. Make sure to give all of your lights an actor tag. For blueprint lights, go into the blueprints and give the lights component tags. You can then add the blueprint to the BP light select. To exclude lights from being rendered, add their actor or component tag to the Exclude Light Groups option. You can add as many as you want. To only render specific lights, add those tags to the Override Light Groups option. To render light component AOVs like direct and indirect passes, go to the Light AOVs section. Here, turn on Render Lighting AOVs. Then select the AOVs you want to render. Now let's check out some of the new features. Over the past year, we have been working on implementing MultiEXR into the tool. One of the biggest issues we face is optimizing render speed. The main use of Unreal Engine for animation is the speed of rendering. Rendering all the passes separately can dramatically increase the render time. So having all the passes rendered sequentially, but then added to a multi-part EXR file on post-render was given negative feedback. To fix this, we have created a new workflow using the movie graph. Let's see how it works. I'm going to go ahead and use my old demo preset to fill in my settings. You'll see a new tab called MultiEXR. Go ahead and click on it. You'll see a new option here called MultiEXR Workflow. Check the box and click on Batch to MRQ. In the movie render queue, you'll see 3 passes created. Let's break them down. On each pass, you'll see they're connected to a movie graph with a custom title. The tool has created this graph and placed it in the same folder as your level sequence. In the graph, you'll see a full graph setup. This graph can be edited and reused multiple times. We wouldn't recommend deleting any of the branch or variable nodes. The tool needs to work non-destructively. You'll notice we'll have an emission pass in the graph. To set this up, just make sure any and all emissive materials have an emissive actor tag. Back to the MRQ. You'll notice on each job there are settings on the left side. Here, you can adjust any of your settings without having to rebatch. Looking at the passes, you'll notice there are 2 layer passes, one for cube and one for ground. These are set up inside the tool. In the MultiEXR tab, you'll see a Render Layers option on the left side. Here is where you can set up render layers using collections and modifiers. Back in the MRQ, you'll notice another pass, Tech and ID passes. We have these passes rendering to a separate MRQ to save on memory while rendering. This pass will use the same movie graph with non-destructive overrides. You can also adjust settings in the MRQ so you don't need to constantly rebatch. Back in the tool, you'll notice some more options. One option is to reuse movie graph. This is for after you have already created a movie graph with a tool that you want to reuse. Simply add your movie graph to the Movie Graph Root Graph option, then select Reuse Movie Graph. Everything will work as before, but now you won't have to create a new movie graph. The same can be done with your own custom movie graph. Add your own created movie graph into the Root Graph section. Now instead of selecting Reuse Movie Graph, check Use Custom Movie Graph. The tool will then create a new movie graph optimized for the tool using your graph as a subgraph. Another option in the MultiEXR section is MultiEXR Beauty. What this option does is decide what type of beauty will be rendered. In a MultiEXR, the beauty is the first image. This image is what will be shown in Nuke and Fusion outside of the layers. Instead of having a beauty pass, you can save memory and render time by using other options like blank for a black screen, diffuse only, albedo, or unlit. Let's take a look at the option we skipped over, separate jobs for light passes. This option will create a different job for each light group. You're probably wondering why that's needed. The answer is the lighting AOVs. Let's go ahead and batch a new movie graph, this time with the light AOVs and light passes. Inside the graph, you'll see there are a lot of outputs. Rendering all these together could take up a lot of memory. So to optimize your render, we added the separate jobs for light passes. Let's add our new graph into the movie graph option. Select Reuse Movie Graph and Separate Jobs for Light Passes. Once we batch the MRQ, we'll see separate passes created for each light group. Now you'll render your direct and indirect diffuse, specular and volumetric passes together within each light group. Let's go ahead and render these passes. Now in compositing, you'll see we have a single render file for each light group, and one for our utility passes. Inside each file, you'll see all of our light AOV layers, so that we can rebuild our lighting. We hope this new feature will help you in your projects. Our next option is for creating presets. You no longer have to create a data asset manually to add a preset. Now you can add all of the settings directly in the UI. Once done, you'll notice a Save button under the Render Presets option. Click the button, and the tool will then save a new preset within the same folder as your level sequence. Those are the new updates for the Light Passes and AOV widget. We'll be releasing videos on more complicated workflows and rendering concepts using the tool soon. If you have any questions, need help with the tool, or have videos about the tool you'd like to see us make, leave a comment down below or join our Discord. The link is in the description.